How do you balance, being a mentor, quote unquote, to a rookie quarterback, but also you want to play, you want to start. How do you kind of balance those two sort of dynamics?
Yeah, I think I definitely think the best player should play, and I think withholding information from whoever, Fernando, whoever it is not beneficial to me or to anyone else. It's only going to make us better as a room if we're all understanding it in the same way and speaking the same language. And so, a rising tide rises all boats. I'm trying to help the guys out that I can, and yeah, obviously still trying to compete. I want to play in this league and hopefully have a shot to, but it's there's different facets to what you do in the room.
Just win, baby.
Aidan O'Connell just dropped a bomb in the press saying he wants to be a long-time starter. But hold on. This team just brought in a franchise quarterback. So what is AOC actually saying? What is he actually doing here? Is he buying into the system, or does he think he's bigger than the Shield by auditioning for 31 other teams? Today we are breaking down his real chances of ever starting for this team again, and whether his press conference just ruined his locker room chemistry. Is AOC out of line? Let's get into it. Hizzle.
What's
My
cracking?
nizzle. What shizzle. My favorite topic, AOC. But we're not just talking about AOC. This is not me just coming at AOC. We are really breaking down every quarterback's chance of starting week one. Because, well, the thing that we kept talking about is, hey, equal opportunity to start. We're going to see in training camp. And I keep trying to tell people that's just coach speak. But they want to. We're going to take it at face value. What are the actual chances of AOC starting week one? And he has came out in the news, in the press, and said what his intentions are. And in case you guys don't remember, here it is.
No wasted years. Sam Darnold is kind of an example of that, where he went to San Francisco, learned with Clint, made the most of it, and then took an opportunity and kind of ran with it. Are examples like that kind of beneficial for you to understand whatever's going on, just make the most of where I am right now, and who knows what might be down the road?
Yeah, I think that's really the whole thing is if you look around the league, there's a lot of guys like that have been in one situation and for whatever reason find themselves in a new spot or with a new coach, and things didn't go well someplace and worked out another place. So that's really my goal, is to find my way in the league and hopefully be a long-time starter. That's what I'm working for. It's what I'm trying to do. Who knows what will happen? Who knows where it'll be? But that's the goal.
So wait a minute. I don't know where it will happen, where it's going to be. So wait a minute now. I'm kind of confused because a lot of people are saying that AOC haven't got an equal chance or a good chance to start.
Fair shake. A fair shake.
A fair shake. There you go. There you go, bro. A fair shake to start. And now he's sounding like he is auditioning for other teams. So is he not wanting to be a Raider anymore? Then it sounds like he doesn't want to be a Raider no more because he's talking about other teams, because he can't be talking about the Raiders, is he? Because they clearly brought in a franchise quarterback. AOC was on the roster when Kubiak came in, and we know that new head coaches and the front office is tied to the quarterback that is the starter. AOC was on the roster. They went out and got Fernando Mendoza to be the franchise. So what is AOC doing here? What is he saying here?
Well, I think he's saying that he wants to go somewhere else and start, because I don't think he wants to be he can't start here. I mean, if they honestly thought he could start, they went and got Kirk Cousins. I mean, I think it's that obvious. At least it is to me, anyway. I mean, so overall, what if he wants to go start somewhere else, that's what he's going to have to do. Because I mean, I don't think he's going to beat out Kirk Cousins. He's not better than Kirk Cousins, and he's probably not even better than Mendoza right now, to be honest.
So is this business? Is this him taking care of his best interest as a player? Because the writing is on the wall that he's not going to be the starter. Although they're saying that there's going to be an equal quarterback competition. So which one is it? Is it going to be an equal quarterback competition, or do we really know who's going to start? Like, for real?
I think we know who's
No.
going to start for real.
We at least know who's not going to start.
Yeah, I definitely.
Even if we don't know who's going to start between Cousins and Mendoza, which I have a great idea of who's going to start that. But even if we didn't know that, we know that AOC is not the guy that's going to start here.
No.
So by him saying that, he's putting his own interest, he's not in front of the shield. Like, he's not being a team player. He's not playing his role. See, the thing about championship teams, and even when we had championship teams, players had a role. I don't know if you guys know, like, even on the O-line, each O-lineman had a specific thing to do to call out and be focused on during that time because they had a role. The backup wasn't trying to be the starter. The starter wasn't trying to be the backup. We knew who the prime receivers are. It wasn't everyone knew their role. So now with AOC coming out saying this, and this is the first time I've ever heard him say it. Why now? Why now, bro? Weber was good. Webb says, I don't think that AOC is out of line. Every player should want to be a long-term starter. To me, that is the right attitude, as long as it doesn't become a problem or distraction. Well, what is it now? Like, by him saying that, because the reality is, yes, you're right. He's supposed to think that. But the reality is, if you're a starter or not. And we're going to talk about it later on. What other teams can he actually start on? Like, we're going to talk about that. So make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, because this is not just an AOC bashing thing. We're going to go through each quarterback this week. Each quarterback get their due diligence. And we're starting with the number with Aidan O'Connell. So he says that if it doesn't become a problem or a distraction, I don't think it'll be a distraction, because they know that he's not going to start. Maybe he's the only one. I mean, even maybe he knows. Maybe that's why he's talking like this, because he's auditioning for another position.
Yep. But he don't even have to say that. People are going to, when he goes out in preseason or whatever, they're going to watch his play. I mean, your play does your talking for you in this league, not your mouth. Your wins and losses do your talking for you.
Well, I mean, at the least, he's telling the rest of the league that he's not content with holding the clipboard, being scout team quarterback. So he's somewhat putting,
Yeah, he's not down with being number 2 for sure.
So he's somewhat putting pressure. He's putting pressure on the management.
He's trying to. He's definitely trying to apply what little pressure he can, but they're just going to laugh him out of the building, dude.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, making these statements right after the team is invested into a new franchise quarterback, man. He's prioritizing himself over the shield, and he's trying to create market value.
For sure, but then he's gaslighting us, and then he's over here gaslighting us, telling us that he's trying to help everybody out, because when the tide rises, we all rise together, and he's gaslighting us.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, because it looked like he's putting his personal brand his personal brand over the chemistry of the team. Because to me, it signals that he's looking for the exit instead of for his role. He's not looking for his role because we know his role. But the thing is, a lot of fans don't know his role for whatever reason. He doesn't know his role. Uh, what I would think is he would know or be aware of his role is you're emergency quarterback. That's all you really have been. Whenever our quarterback's gone down, you were the one that could come in and we could feel confident that you could at least play a little bit. We didn't know for how long, but if it's long enough for the starter to come back. But he never grabbed the reins and was like, I'm the starter while he was playing. So now to come out and say it now, like you're either putting a shield, you're putting yourself in front of the shield or above the shield, or you're trying to make a business decision and try to audition for the 31 other teams. Which one is it? And I don't have a problem with him auditioning for the other 31 teams because that's the business. That is the business, and you do have to put your personal brand into account. Now, are you gonna roll the dice on yourself, or are you gonna take a reality stance and say, "Hey, well, maybe I should just stay here, and this is probably the best chance I'll get to be able to play in the NFL and stay, and then maybe something will happen along the way." Maybe Kirk Cousins leave and I'll be the backup. You never know what happens to Fernando. You know what I'm saying? Knock on wood if you with me. So he could try to play it out like that. But to come out in the media and say, "Look, I'm trying to be a long-term starter in this league," after they just got a franchise quarterback, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, he needs to take some more mental reps. That's what he needs to do.
He needs to take more mental reps.
He needs more mental
His stick
reps.
was good.
What if his stick?
Justice for 12 says, I want to see our undrafted QB play in the preseason along with Mendoza. We know what AOC is already. Hey, that's what Pizzle said. He want to see that because he think that got your take. Go ahead, Pizzle. I ain't gonna speak for you. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think that dude should be taking AOC spot right now. That guy's a beast. You see how big he is? That dude's huge. He's a lot more mobile. I just see him being a better product, an opportunity for us than AOC is. He brings more to the table just with his mobility. He doesn't even have to run. He's just got to be able to scramble and get away and look down the field and make plays. I mean, I just, so I think he's got a chance of beating AOC out in preseason, to be honest. Send him out the door the old-fashioned way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Yeller.
Yeah.
His stick say, low-key, AOC trade. He said, low-key, AOC trade bait. We can move, bro, to a QB needy team for whatever
Maybe.
draft capital we can get.
Yeah.
Run that. He said, run that. Willie Wayne was good. So essentially, he's trade bait. And a lot of people were saying that's why Kubiak is saying the things he's saying because he wants to be able to keep them in a positive light. So if there is a team out there, maybe we can get a 5th round pick instead of a 6th round pick. Maybe we can get a 6th round pick instead of having to release him for nothing.
Yep. Be the smart thing. Because you can bash him. You can bash him and say, yeah, no, he's not really getting along. He's not really coming with the right attitude right now and all this other stuff. But that just makes him look bad. And then nobody wants to deal with him. Because that's a me situation, right? And you don't want to do that. You don't want to tarnish him like that. You want to make him look like, he's part of the system and he's doing his part. So that way at least, you can get him out of here if that's what he wants to do. I understand he wants to start, but good luck, bro.
To be fair, he should want to. I mean, you should have that mentality when you're a quarterback in the NFL, right? If you don't have that mentality, then you're probably not going to survive in the NFL. I get it. That's part of it. So yeah, I applaud him for that. Go ahead.
Well, like you said, he had his ample opportunities and he never took full command. Like Even when Aidan O'Connell was here, who'd they bring in? They brought in Jimmy G, right? Then they brought in Minshew, right? And then they brought in Geno Smith. But he was here for all of those guys. If he was the guy, how come he wasn't starting then? Why were bringing in free agents and wasting all that money on them if he was still good enough to start? Then why did we go get Kirk Cousins right now if he's good enough to start? Like, see, so he's not understanding. He's not getting it. And I guess it's the nation. I don't know, or some of the nation ain't getting it. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
I don't know what's like this.
And I can give myself pushback on the above the shield thing because, like I always say, they're not loyal to you, so you better take care of yourself and the brand. So for him to come out and say what he's saying, it's just kind of like he's on survival mode because he understands he's at a pivotal part. He's in the contract year, right? And so the front office won't hesitate. If the head office got an opportunity to get a good draft pick, they will get rid of him. There is no team loyalty, so they will cut bait on him.
But you can't hang yourself either. You can't put yourself out there like he did. You can't say one thing and then be doing the other. Or doing the other and then saying you're doing the other thing. You can't be saying, oh, yeah, I'm all about the team and I'm trying to, I'm doing this. I'm being a leader and a mentor and doing all this stuff. But, then I want to start. Oh, okay, I want to start somewhere else. It's kind of conflicting.
Because everybody has a role. Yeah, and it's like now he's stepping outside of himself. He don't want to fit any kind of role, but that could just be him protecting his career. Maybe not he's trying to be bigger than the Shield. I mean, I don't know what the difference is between what he's doing and what Maxx Crosby is doing as far as him wanting to do what's best for his career. He want to be able to play meaningful games. He sat here and had to hold down the Raiders franchise for years. And then when he does the same thing, then he doesn't want to be a Raider. So I'm trying to understand what the difference is.
Well, maybe neither one of them want to be Raiders.
That's your argument. Maybe neither one of them.
Yeah, maybe neither one of them want to be Raiders. Maybe it's all of the above, bro.
Right. Frank Webb says every player on this roster should be prepared to play. If they aren't thinking that way, they are not doing their job. Yes, that's only half of the job, though, because you're not going to just stick any player out there to fulfill any role, though. Mm-hmm. You're not just like when like a quarterback is struggling, like a starter is struggling, and you don't keep putting in a backup just because the starter is struggling. Because really, it used to be only the way the starter would lose his job is if he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you guys try to say, okay, well, he's prepared to start, that don't mean he's a better option than this guy. You want to know why? Because coaches understand each player's limitation or what they feel like they could do with that player. And they know that they cannot put AOC in a position to start game one because he had the opportunity to beat out Minshew. He had the opportunity to beat out Geno Smith. He had an opportunity to beat out Garoppolo, right? Did he?
Yep, I believe so.
And he didn't. And so, yeah, you were prepared for that, but we know your limitations. As I can see his limitations. Like, I don't understand why y'all don't see his limitations. Here goes some teams that I'm gonna get to that in a minute because I see some teams on here that maybe not, but or maybe I can see. Let's see. What's up with Mick? Justin for 12 say, didn't AOC go 3 quarters without a completion in one game? That's unacceptable unacceptable to be a starter in the NFL. And
He's
QBs
absolutely.
have bad games, yeah, but not completions for 3 quarters is not the business.
I agree 100%. We only
Yeah,
won
well,
that
and then they were
game.
sitting up there saying, well, he beat Kansas City. Like, how did he beat Kansas City?
The defense won.
So, but for Maxx and AOC, right? So they both were just ultimately looking for an out for their careers. Because, like you said, maybe neither one of them want to be Raiders. I'm just using that as a metric. I don't believe that that's the case, but maybe they don't, right? You know, where team loyalty is that's a myth. Like being loyal to a team is a myth, man. So AOC is he's using the press to let it be known that he wants to start. And Crosby, he essentially just looking at his future and he's saying, look, check this out, man. All these trade rumors keep swirling around. Can y'all find a good place for me now? Now, are they both putting their individual brands in front of the team? Yes or no? What you think? Just on his face, does it appear that both of them are putting their own personal brand
Yeah,
above
they
the team?
want. Yeah, they want to bounce, and that's fine. I don't mind if they want. I don't mind if a player wants to bounce. It's their right. The organization wants to release them, and they want it, and they want out of here, which obviously is what's happening. Well, it happened with Maxx. I don't know if it's happening right now, but and if people are still interested in him, and they think that they're going to get the value that they want out of him, then maybe you go ahead and make that trade. But I honestly, I doubt it. I think, like you said, there's just a lot of rumors going on right now because there's not a lot to talk about. So I think that it's just like you said, they're all just rumors. And until somebody, until it comes across the screen that he's been traded to any one of these places, then I'm kind of like tired of hearing about it.
Right. You like me when I keep hearing about certain stuff and the irritation just is seeping through my skin, right? Um,
How many times we
yeah.
got to talk about this? Like, same thing with this AOC thing. Like, how long we got to spend on something that we already know is not going to happen? I mean, people can cry about it all they want, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, they both. I would say that It could be said that Maxx can be a distraction. This whole situation is distraction. How he's going about it. I think he's trying to not make it a distraction. That's why he was saying like it's water under the bridge. Let's move forward because he probably addressed the team already, but he didn't address the nation completely. But and then same thing with AOC. Sure, it maybe not be to the level of Maxx because he's not the same level caliber of player as Maxx, but for a third string quarterback to come in and say something like that, or a backup quarterback to say that, and we know that he's not going to start, now you're creating a quarterback controversy that ain't there. That's what I'm saying about the nation is we're creating a quarterback competition that's not there, and they're fueling it because Kubiak is saying that may the best player win, but that's just coach speak. I'm keep trying to tell people, but I can see how it's different though because Maxx is up here and AOC is down here, so they're different. So is there a world that you see that it is kind of different? I think I saw Webb say earlier that it's different. You don't think that AOC is out of line? So if AOC isn't out of line, what makes AOC not out of line? But
You mean
Maxx
Maxx
Crosby
Crosby out
out
of
of
the
line.
line? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. And maybe y'all can put that in the comments and help me understand that because people are so quick to say, well, he think he's bigger than the shield. He went up there and demanded a trade. Yeah, well, at least he went behind closed doors.
Yeah,
AOC went into
he's the leader. He's the leader of the franchise. He's the head of the franchise. He should, there's certain behaviors certain way you're supposed to carry yourself.
Mhm.
And when you start doing things and acting certain ways and speaking certain ways and stuff like that, it makes people wonder like what's going on, and And then everybody's trying to be hush hush about it, and nobody wants to talk about it. And then all of a sudden, he's being traded to the Ravens, and he doesn't seem like he was too upset about it, did he? Did he look like he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna miss you guys," all this other stuff? No, bro, come on.
I mean, I saw some of it. I don't think that he was like maybe he got out of jail. I don't think he felt like that. I think he do.
Yeah,
I
that's
think it
fine.
did
Yeah.
affect him.
Nah,
Nah, I
nah,
think it affected him. For real, I do.
nah.
I think Max is a Raider through and through.
I know, but he don't. That's the problem.
He keeps saying that he is. Y'all keep saying that he ain't.
No, no. Well, the recent actions over the summer say, recent actions over this last few months say different. And being traded, all this other stuff. I mean, he came back, and I guess we made amends, but he was more than content on bouncing. You can't say, "Oh yeah, I want to be a Raider" when you're bounced.
Well, no, it's the business. You can still want to be a Raider, but the business is dictating something different.
Yeah,
And that's the
I get
same
it.
thing with AOC. Like I'm sure AOC want to be a Raider, just like I'm sure he want to start, but he can't. Not here. So the business is dictating that he does something else, and the business dictated that he came out and said, "I want to be a long-term starter." So basically, you don't want to be a Raider. That's what you're saying because they didn't bring in Mendoza so you could be the starter, my guy. They didn't bring in Kirk Cousins so you could be the long-term starter, my guy. You essentially called out the franchise for not giving you the opportunity to be the franchise quarterback.
Well, we did give him the opportunity.
I know that. You know that. But apparently, there's a section of the Raider Nation that don't think that. And obviously, AOC don't think that. So that's where my confusion lies at. So it's like, what about that one time in Smoke Backyard? Oh, that was different.
That's
That was
different.
different. It was different when he do it, but then when Max do it, it's a whole problem. What up, Raider Knight?
I think it's two
Good
different positions, though,
evening.
too. Two different. Max is definitely a starter. AOC is not even close to being a starter. So I think there's
Unless
just two.
AOC demands a trade, I ain't worried about it. Yeah, because he don't have the cachet to ask for no trade. Plus, he in his contract year, so he dang near gonna get traded anyway. But the thing is, for me, is AOC should do this. This is what This is me talking now. This is what I believe AOC should do. You need to go in. What you say? What you say, Pizzle? Kiss the ring.
Yeah, you're gonna
Kiss
have
the
to go
ring.
in. You're gonna have to go in and go down and kiss the ring. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
say, "Hey, I'll be the backup. I'll play my role."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's what you gotta do. And then that way we can't really sit Fernando for a whole year, right?
Yep.
To put in Kirk Cousins. Something happened to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins get injured. Y'all seem to think that putting in Fernando gonna make it better. He might get hurt too.
Yep.
Like then we really gonna be up a creek with no paddle. Like we got so we definitely ain't gonna go. We're not gonna pivot back to Kirk Cousins unless it's an injury where he can come back in a couple of weeks, right? And if it's not, then we go in there and get Mendoza blasted. And let's say if it's not something hella serious, but it's kind of like enough where he out 3-4 games, and then AOC come in. Now we down to AOC in a undrafted free agent quarterback. And we know, depending on how fast all this happened, AOC ain't gonna start all them games. We know this. So we can't. So he needs to just go in and be like, "Look, I'm going to be the backup to Kirk Cousins, and then just be ready to start whenever my number get called if it gets called." But as far as telling them I want to be a long-term starter, that ain't nothing he had to say. Like what was understood don't need to be explained. We know that you want to be a starter, but your role does not dictate that, and that's why there's
Unspoken rule.
a divide in the nation because part of the nation seems to think that he's elite or he's better than Kirk. He's better than Kirk Cousins. He's better than Geno Smith. He better than Minshew. He better than all these quarterbacks, but he ain't got no chance. He haven't won the starting job yet. So I'm trying to make it make sense.
You can't make it make sense, man. You can't. All of those, you can't run it off four quarterbacks, and be like, yeah, we haven't given him a chance. But he's had six offensive coordinators and 4 head coaches or so. Who cares, bro? That has nothing to do
Even
with
he knows that.
All you got to do is go out there and throw the ball, and the guy's got to catch it.
Even he knows that because you hit the nail on the head. Here you go.
Aidan, you haven't even played your 4th season, and I think this is your 5th, 6th, maybe if you look at interims, whatever, offensive coordinator. So you've had everything thrown at you, but still have a great attitude. Will you talk about that balancing and controlling what you can control and just dealing with what you can't?
Yeah, I joke I had one play caller and one head coach my entire 6 years at Purdue, and so I think, by the law of averages, I think something like this was coming my way. Obviously didn't expect it to be like this, but there's really, I've learned, no wasted years in the NFL. Even when you're losing, even when things are hard, you can still learn a lot. And I've learned a lot even last year. I only played in our last game, for 3 quarters, but learned a bunch just sitting kind of on the sideline and watching. And again, being able to interact with a lot of coordinators, I think has been good for me to really learn what I like, to learn what, I think is, the best way to play quarterback, the best way to play football. And so it really is, you can, complain about it. I really realize, people really don't care about that very much. People talk about it a little bit, having a lot of coordinators or coaches, but, if I go out there and throw interceptions, no one's really feeling bad for me. You got to produce in the NFL. And so, besides my wife and my parents, no one's really going to feel bad for me. So try to go out there and compete no matter who's calling plays or who's out there.
Hey, Pizzle, what does NFL stand for?
Not for long, and that's what he had.
Exactly. That's not just the players, that's the coaches too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So ain't nobody trying to hear them excuses about he had 20 different coordinators and 8 different seasons and all that. Nobody trying to hear that. Derek Carr had all that too, and I don't even want to bring his name up. So let's just say Maxx Crosby had hella head coaches too. Come on, it's just what it is, right? So
every Raiders had a hella coaches. There's not one who hasn't had hella coaches.
This is a production-based league. So they ain't trying to hear all that. So I wish people in the nation would stop using that as an excuse. Because when you say that makes it sound like to me that you're not a competitor. That you got to have things got to line up perfectly for you in order for you to give your best. Just like these content creators that can only do content when the season is good or when the season is on. To me, what shows your mettle is and your moxie is when it's hard. What do you do when it's hard? Can you still be successful? Can you do what everyone else isn't doing? So all these excuses, I'm not trying to hear, especially if you want to be a long-term #1 franchise type quarterback. So my question is, what is the actual chance that AOC could start for the Raiders? Let me start there first for the Raiders, and then we'll go with what is the chance he could start somewhere else. Now,
you asking the chat first, or you asking me?
I'm asking the chat, but I'm asking you too. But I'm gonna frame it like this, though. I'm gonna frame it like this. I got these things with ice cubes, but sometimes y'all becoming too hot with these tanks. So if it's 4 ice cubes, I mean we need to cool it all the way down, like 100% cool it down. Each ice cube is like 25%. So if it just needs to be cooled down a little bit, just put one like 25%. If it's like half and half, it's like 2. Like 3 is 75. I hope y'all got that. I hope y'all smart. So look, I'm just going to jump out the window right now and say the chances of AOC starting for the Raiders is y'all need 4 ice cubes. Y'all need to chill all the way out because it's like 0% chance unless there's a serious injury but as far as just regular, just going out there, it's not gonna happen. So what about you, bro? What's your assessment of him starting game one? What
Like,
chance?
absolute zero. Just like you, absolute zero. I think that the only way that he hits the team is the field is like you said, is if Kirk Cousins gets hurt or something like that. Because I don't see him I don't see him starting over anybody here. I think even Fernando Mendoza is probably better than he is at this moment. That's why we drafted him. If we didn't think Fernando Mendoza was better than AOC, we wouldn't even have drafted him. How about that?
How come Ice Cube is not on there? Because Kubiak, bro. Ice Cube. It's Ice Cube, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me read some of the comments because the next question is because like I said earlier, the head office and the coaches attached to the quarterback that they use. Oh, it don't look like he's going to be handed a week one start somewhere else if he gets traded.
No.
But his NFL tech can make him a highly valuable premium backup. Or a bridge competitor. So next question is, what is his chances that he's going to get traded and go to another team and he can start week one? And think about that, chat, and tell me how many ice cubes you think that for that one, and then you tell me to Pizzle. Let me read a couple of these comments first. I'm sure you already have your answer.
What's the question?
The question is, what are the chances that even if he got traded, that he can go and start somewhere else week one?
Oh yeah, maybe like 0.1% or something.
Oh, that's another 4 ice cubes. Sound like.
Yeah, I think it's a low percentage. I'd say under 3% chance. I'd say almost zero, but there are a couple of teams that are out there that he might be able to start for. There's a couple. But we're going to go over that.
We're about to go over those in a few seconds.
Exactly. We're about to go over that in a minute.
Yeah. Maxx Crosby is not out of line because he's our best player on defense and have produced over the years. Max is just tired of losing. I really believe he wants to stay a Raider and win with us. Thank you, Justice for 12. We have an adult in the room. It's more than just me and Pizzle that's the adult in the room, it seems like. Well, no, I'm sorry. Pizzle thinks he don't want. I'm sorry, I forgot. Pizzle thinks he doesn't want to be a Raider. I misspoke.
Well, I think hold on now. I'm not saying he don't want to be a Raider now because he's been humbled, but when he bounced, he didn't want to be a Raider. He was acting all disrespectful and stuff to us. And I don't even know if I'm ready to forgive him for that yet.
And not yet.
It's going to take a little time.
It's going to take some wins and some sacks, huh?
Yeah, he's going to have to put in some work.
Raider Knight says, "Can we get number 4 at home in 29? Let's do it." Jack Kenner, what's up with your brethren? Raider Knight says the Eagles and the Niners wants to trade for Max. Should we still trade him? Absolutely not. What you think, bro? You think we should trade? For one, I don't think he's going to go to the Niners. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to I don't think he's leaving, period, personally. But what you think?
Well, if he goes to the Niners, yeah, that's unforgivable. I'll tell you that right now. That's unforgivable for me. For real. Where I'm from, that's our arch enemy. You know, you guys might feel that way about the Jets and the Giants out there in New York or any of these other places. Maybe the Lambs and the Lightning Bolts or whatever, the electricity guys down there. But yeah, it's an extreme rival around here, and you go over there, that's pretty blatantly disrespectful.
He better not drive through the Bay at all. He better stay in Santa Clara. He better not ever show up in the Bay Area.
Yeah, he ain't going over to Oakland and being like, "What's up, people? I miss y'all."
No, no, it ain't gonna be none of that. So I'm giving that 4 ice cubes that he ain't going nowhere. Like cool that all the way down. Cool that all the way down.
I don't know. It depends on what the Niners want to offer.
So
And if it
you
sounds,
so you
and
sound
if
like
it
you
sounds,
sound like you 50-50. So it sound like you 2 ice cubes.
yeah, well, I'm almost 3 ice cubes on that, or 1 ice cube.
Mm.
I think it's hot. I think it's melting over there. I
Oh,
mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire.
oh, so you mean 1 ice cube then? Because
Yeah, I
that's
think
like
it's
70.
one.
That's only each ice cube is 25%. So
Yep,
you only think it's only like maybe 25%. So a 75% chance that it could happen. Like,
yep.
okay.
I think it's a high probability. I mean, if they're going to give us what? I mean, we're paying the other guy. We already paid. We already got the other guy to replace him. We already got the guy to replace. It's not like It's not like we don't have that guy. We already got him here. We were just cool enough to be like and not be like the Ravens and renege on our commitments.
Yeah, I can go with that. Justice for
So
12 say great players will be great whether they have 10 coaches over their career or one coach. I love that. Raider Knight says if Kirko goes down early, AO12 stepping up as QB2, but AO12 will not start over Kirko. Yeah, I don't think so either.
yeah, I
Justice
don't
for
think
12
so.
say, go ahead.
I don't think he's starting over Kirk Cousins either. I don't think Mendoza's starting over Kirk Cousins either. I don't think either one of those guys are starting over him. Because if they was, they wouldn't have brought him over here. There's a reason why
Yeah,
they brought in the veteran. Because he knows the system and they think they can win with him right now. We're not. We weren't that far off. We have weapons. We have pillars in positions in some of these positions on this team that allow us to not have a complete teardown. It's just we're just revamping. We're going to figure out what players are going to work with this system this year, and then we'll get rid of the ones that we're going to get rid of, and we'll draft better next year. You can't get rid of the whole team and the whole rebuild the whole roster in 1 year.
yeah, that's true.
And we're not building it for 1 year. We're building it for a dynasty. We're building it for hopefully a decade or longer. We don't want to build it just for 1
Dynasty.
year.
Justice for 12 say 4 ice cubes. People need to chill. AOC had his chance and he didn't pop out. Willie Wayne says 0%. That's 4 ice cubes. Jack Kenneth say don't do content, but you definitely give us all love and respect. I love that. Willie Wayne says reality is here. We're going to start winning with Cousins for now. Yeah.
I agree. That's why we brought Cousins in here, is to win right now. Otherwise, we would have just stuck with AOC if we wanted to have another year like we had last year. We would just rock with him. And we would have traded back. And we would have got a king's ransom.
Narrator Nate said if he go to the Niners, I'm gonna call him Nassib Jr. Nassib Jr.
What up, Nate?
Narrator Nate said if Kirko takes us deep into the playoffs this year, do we start Kirko again next year over Mendoza? Absolutely. Like in what world don't we?
What up,
Y'all
JD?
don't. Maybe y'all don't understand these old school things. A bird in the hand beats two in the bush. Like I get it sound maybe corny at this point in 2026, but it makes all the sense in the world. Like we ain't even gotta go deep in the playoffs. Like if we almost get to the playoffs, we better play with him. And we gonna talk about Kirk Cousins. Should we talk about Kirk Cousins next, or we should talk about Mendoza? I think we're gonna talk about Mendoza next. But Kirk Cousins, I got something that Pizzle brought up, and I can't wait to tell y'all. And I ain't gonna take credit for it because it made all the sense in the world. Because I couldn't understand why people kept talking about, well, he's 38, he's 38. Like, okay, and what that mean? You know, I remember Max Kellerman was saying Tom Brady was gonna fall off the cliff. You see how that worked out. So what do you think? Do we go with Kirko if he banging?
What, the year after next year? You mean after this year?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. It depends on, he is playing. It is a contract year for him. He does want, if he's going to be the one who's doing the auditioning for the 31 other teams. Well, actually, all 32 teams, but there's 31 teams, and then there's the Raiders. And so, he's going to be out here doing what he do, and I don't think he's as bad as everybody thinks he's going to be, and that's where it's going to lie. That's what it's all going to come down to quarterback play and offensive line play. If the offensive line is decent and the quarterback makes good decisions like he has been, then he's going to do what he do, and we're going to win games. How many? I don't know, but hopefully a lot. Hopefully more than 4.
Yeah,
I just don't see this team, this defense being that bad, and I don't see the offense being that bad. I mean, the defense would have to be really atrocious for us to only be able to win 4 games. Because if we're playing from I feel like we're going to be playing from a leads perspective. I don't think we're going to be playing from behind very much. At least that's my thoughts.
Jack Kenner says, no matter what, Cousins is going to re-sign AOC and let the new era begin. Well, if you're going to do that, just go and do it now. Well, just gonna let the era start now. If that's the case, because maybe that's what y'all really want. Because I'm like, wait a minute, why would you take out a quarterback that's winning? I'm not understanding that. Oh, because you think Cousins is always about the money. This is the part that I keep trying to stress. This is a business first. And Kirk Cousins has played at a level well enough to get paid what he's got paid. And plus he has a great agent. The man thrown for 4,000 yards 7 times, man. Maybe y'all don't understand how impressive that is. The Raiders has only done it 6 times in their whole franchise. And Derek Carr had 4 of them. So he should get a bag. Jack Ken, I love you. You know I love you, brother. But that's just the truth of it all for me. That's the truth. I mean, like, he's supposed to get the bag. He's earned the bag. But so as far as we're gonna talk about Kirk. So make sure y'all hack in. But what are AOC intangibles? All right, chat, help me out. What is his intangibles? What's his it factor? What makes him the it factor to make him a starter? What does he have that makes him it?
Does he got any Johnny Manziel in him? Any Baker Mayfield? Does he got anything like that in him? I don't see either. I don't see none of that. Because if he had some of that, he'd be starting. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
He just don't have it. He don't have it. And when you see it, whether or not he has it, and he don't have it.
His intangibles is what? That he's smart? That could be par for the course for a quarterback.
I don't know if he's smart.
Well, a lot of what I will say is a lot of coaches, they praise him, him being a student of the game and being able to pick up the offenses fairly quickly. And I think he does pick it up. I just think he's physically limited. I just think he's physically limited.
Yep. Yeah, a man's got to know his limitations, and he apparently, he don't know them yet.
Jack Kenneth say, okay, Black Cousins is impressive, but Mendoza in year 2 will probably just be impressive. Will probably just be impressive. And we don't know that, though. We don't know that. But we do know what Kirk Cousins brings to the table, though. We do know what he bringing. He said, "Don't worry, he's gonna be playing sooner than we realize." And see, that's the part, Willie Wayne. You know, I love you, brother. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like any other year, whenever we brought up injuries, it was a taboo thing to talk about players like that. But we're waiting for Kirk Cousins to either get too old, get hurt, something.
Too
We
many
waiting for him to do
interceptions,
something.
too many losses in a
Yeah, too
row,
many interceptions, too many sacks.
and just
Yeah.
too many of this, too many of that. And every time there's going to be something, I already know it's going to happen. They're the whole nation, get him out of there. Let's bring in Mendoza. Why ain't Mendoza playing? He's throwing all this. Look at that, another interception. Look at this. We should have Mendoza in here. He couldn't be any worse.
Yeah. So can you guys tell me, chat, what are
What's
his
he good at?
intangibles?
Yeah, what's he
Yeah,
good
what
at?
is he good at? Yeah, what is he good at?
Name one thing he's good at.
Yeah, because what's his
I can't really think of one. I've been sitting here for about 10 minutes thinking about it. And there's not really, I mean, I guess he's accurate to the outside a little bit or whatever, but I don't really know. I just don't see, I don't know. I don't really know what he's good at.
We said, "Won't you just leave AOC alone?" Willie Wayne always say that to me. Like, why you keep picking on AOC? Oh my goodness. So I mean, is he injury prone? Is
Yeah.
AOC injury prone? Like, because whatever his hit factor is, whatever what he's good at, it has to be so good that we overlook his injury. Is he injury prone? Would you consider him injury prone? Would y'all consider him injury prone?
He's been injured a little bit. You know, he's been taking a lot of mental reps.
He only haven't been hurt his rookie season, and we going into year 4. Jack Kenneth says, next question. I'm going to answer your question about Justice for 12. I'm going to answer your question in a minute. Next question. Black, pay Cousins approximately $40 million or go with Mendoza on a rookie deal. Your thoughts? If Kirk Cousins is winning, it's money well spent. Matter of fact, we probably would have wished we would have got him earlier, like before he went to Atlanta, because then we wouldn't be in this situation. Because I would say he's better than Derek Carr. He would have been the best quarterback we had since Gannon, except for maybe Carson Palmer. And Carson Palmer got hurt. So,
Yeah,
what you think about that?
That's who Burrow reminds me of, more of a Carson Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
And how Pittsburgh did his knee in the AFC Championship game. Remember that? They tore his knee out. Like he got his knee tore out. But then they didn't make a role for Carson Palmer. They made a role for Brady.
They definitely did do that.
They definitely did do that.
Bruce Willis says Kirko will get hurt. That's a fact. So then it's Mendoza, then AOC. But he can ask for a trade. It's all good in my eyes. He's a good backup for our team. Don't worry. He's still a starter on other teams. What other teams?
Yeah, we're going to go over that. Let's get on
we
that.
About to right now. And plus, anyway, we don't know if Kirk going to get hurt. That's not a fact. Kirk has played many seasons without getting hurt.
Yep. Yeah.
How many seasons has AOC? He's a backup and he gets hurt. Like he's not even a starter and get hurt. He's a backup and get hurt.
Now he's a backup to the backup and he's going to get hurt.
Kirko Chains is going to do Kirko Chains and put up numbers till he can't. And I'm good with it. Bruce Willis. Yeah. Okay, Black. I'm a Carr guy. I'll take Carr over Cousins. Well, the only reason why I take Cousins is because Cousin Kirk got playoff games.
Captain Kirk gone to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. So my boy is injury prone. My boy got injured by getting pushed in the back. Like he didn't even get hit. He got pushed. Then he hit his hand on the helmet and couldn't play all year.
Broke his finger. Oh, jeez.
Like, I'm just saying, bro.
What you talking about, Willis?
If he was that guy, why didn't we trade back the number 1 pick then?
My thoughts.
If he's viable, why didn't we trade back and use that number 1 pick for something else?
Mm-hmm.
If he was viable, if he was deemed viable to the franchise.
Mm-hmm. If Coach Coop walked in there and said, "You know what? I've been watching your tape, and I'm very impressed with you, and I like your mechanics and your footwork, and your statue ability, and how you're not able to move around in the pocket very well, and you're not even really a scrambling quarterback. But I like all these tangibles about you. You don't do anything good, but but I still think I could work with you."
So, what is his chances of playing with 31 other teams? Okay, Justice for 12 said, he said the Colts, the Cardinals, and probably the Jets, and the Saints can use AOC. He would be a starter. Then I don't know. He would be a starter? Okay, hold on.
I don't think he's better.
Who's the quarterback for the Saints? Who's the quarterback for the Saints?
I don't know, but he might be better. He might be better than that guy.
We need to find out who it is. Can we tell me who it is in the chat? Because realistically, AOC is not going to start unless somebody get 1 or 2 reasons: an injury or a severe performance collapse by a starter. If the franchise guy struggles and the team is in a playoff hunt, and the coaching staff will pivot to a player like trying to save the season, then he might can come in and do that. But let's look at the Jets. How can you guys say he could?
Tyler Shaw, I guess, or Show, or whatever it is.
How many games Tyler played? Let's look at
Tyler. Let's see. I got him right here.
Cousins remind you of Jay Schrader. Jay Schrader ain't never.
Hold on now, bro. Jay Schrader? Are you crazy? That guy couldn't hit the side of a barn, bro. He stunk. He had a hell of an arm, though. He threw a lot of interceptions. I'll give him that. He did have a hell of an arm.
We shouldn't worry about if he can start on another team or not. But for now, AOC is our backup. Don't need him to start on. Wait a minute. We talking about trading Maxx every other day.
But see, even Jay Schrader's better than AOC.
That was crazy work. AOC? What? Yeah, we're going. So go ahead with Tyler Shaw. I want to know what his numbers is. Let me see. Let me read this from Derek. Derek Gear, welcome, brother. He said, we really going to judge AOC playing for the Raiders system. The last year, I don't understand, because if Mendoza was here 3 years ago, he would have been looking just like Geno was looking last year. That's probably true. It's probably true. And we saw how AOC was looking too. And he was looking way worse than Geno. So I don't understand why people can think that he can go to the Jets and beat Geno out. He couldn't beat Geno here. Geno is a proven starter, man. Y'all might not like Geno, which is messed up because he only looked bad when he came here.
Yeah. All right, Black, I got to take off, man. I got my call.
All right, brother.
Right on, guys. I'll see you later. We can maybe do the AFC thing
31 teams
or something, or Wednesday we go over the teams that we think he's going to go with, or you can continue on whatever you want to do.
No, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that for sure. I'm just going to go over these 2 teams, the Jets and the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
Then we'll go over the rest of them.
All right, cool. You guys have a good night.
All right.
Later, bro.
Later. So the Jets, well, I will admit, the Jets do the quarterback room is not looking the hottest, right? You know, if Geno was a struggle, he can come in and play. But if he was better than Geno, then why he didn't beat him out already? Matter of fact, why didn't the Jets ask for AOC instead of Geno? They could have got him for cheaper. Help me make that make sense. Why didn't the Jets say, hey, can you throw us AOC in there or two? Or give us AOC? Like instead of Geno Smith? Why not? Help me understand that. 20% of the other teams, but he's a good backup quarterback for the team for now. Okay. AOC is better than Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy on the Vikings. He's better than Kyler Murray? AOC is better than Kyler Murray. Okay. Okay. All right. It said Geno Smith just got in trouble on possible domestic violence. Yeah, he might not even start. Yeah, every quarterback in the NFL would look just like Geno last year. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing about Geno is he still played majority of the games. And he didn't have more interceptions than touchdowns as bad as he played. Everybody act like he was throwing pick sixes and three interceptions every game. Like, even though he was being sabotaged, he still had a 50-50 season, which I say he's a 50-50 quarterback. He'll get you two touchdowns and an interception. Next week, he'll have a touchdown, two interceptions. And the week after that, he'll have three touchdowns, no interceptions. Week after that, two touchdowns, one interception. The next 2 weeks after that, one touchdown, two interceptions. He's a 50-50 quarterback. Yeah, I get that. So I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. But we know what AOC would look like still. He didn't even play all year. And then when he did play, he didn't even have a completion for 3 quarters. Like AOC is not on on Geno Smith's level, man. I'm sorry. AOC would never throw for 4,000 yards. He would never throw for 3,800 yards in the season. Sorry, like if y'all think that, what gives y'all reason to believe that? Because he started 17 games and he got 3,800 yards, but it took him 3 seasons to do one. They pieced 3 seasons together to put one. So I don't want to keep sounding like I'm bashing AOC, but that's just that don't even sustain in a coach's mind as an option. Now Tyler Murray, right? I'm trying to see the Cardinals who they have Jacoby Brissett, Carson Beck, and Gardner Minshew. If he could beat Gardner Minshew, why couldn't he beat him while he was here? You want to know why? Because Gardner Minshew knew how to matriculate the pocket. You always saw his feet moving because he already knew that it was going to collapse at any moment. AOC, he's like a man that's in a he's like a man that's tied up as in a house that caught on fire. Like he ain't gonna be able to get out, man. He ain't gonna be able to get out. He's gonna get injured. But okay, so I don't think he could beat out Minshew. Is he better than Carson Beck? I don't know. Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett, he's earned his way to the position. He's earned his starting position from being a career backup. That he's earned it. I don't think he's better than Jacoby Brissett. Mm, I don't think so. Murray's struggling in Vikings camp right now. Camp right now. Look it up. How are you struggling in camp right now? Y'all ain't even start hitting. How do y'all consider he's struggling in camp and they not even hitting yet? He's not even hit. I agree with you there. We gonna be better than last year. AOC is not better than Kyler Murray. Thank you. Another adult in the room, one left, and now you gotta step up. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got you. The Viking fans are saying that Kyler Murray because maybe they don't even like Kyler Murray. I can see why they don't like Kyler Murray. I wish Kyler Murray would have played for my A's. I agree he probably should play baseball, but I don't think that AOC is better than him because I can see Kyler Murray playing the whole season, or at least majority of the games, 75% of the season. So so overall though, I think the consistency is that AOC probably can be a great backup in this system. I personally believe that he needs to accept his role because I think you are a competent backup. You're competent for sure. I just don't know how long you're going to play. And maybe like what I would say 4 games is it could be stretched to 6 games because of Kubiak could scheme it long enough for you to roll the pockets to the left and to the right. But you're just going to get hurt, man. But I get it. LC, he ain't commanding the first round pick, just like Maxx. And if the team like the Jets or the Cardinals realize their quarterback room isn't doing it, he knows Connell is the best person that they can call up. Is he auditioning? And are all those teams watching? I would say yes. It borderline based on y'all definition. He's putting himself above the shield. I don't know about the double standard that we have going on here, but like I said, I don't have a problem with him doing it. It's just like I didn't have a problem with Max doing what he did because he did it for a reason. Got tired of losing. But hey, I want AOC to be here, but something's going to have to happen because it's his contract year. So either he gets released and not released, but he plays out his contract. We don't renew the contract, and he can try to start. And he can try to go and start for Arizona, and then he can go try to start for um, the Jets. But y'all name like 3 teams out of 32. Three teams out of 31. So that's like 1 out of every 10 teams. That's very slim. That sounds like backup. He's so I personally want him to stay. I think we should sign him and he can just be a cushion for Mendoza. So then that way we can put Mendoza in when we want to, because that's the goal, that's the plan. 3 is better than none. It is. 3 is better than none. Thanks, Jack Skinner. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you. I'm about to be done. Real camp don't start until they put on the pads. Facts. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, John Elway, choose the right sport. Yeah, but see, John Elway made the right decision. Who's stupid, bro? How many times have I agreed with you on that? I agreed with you that any quarterback. I tell people that all the time. Like any player don't even have to be a quarterback. Look how Randy Moss came here and looked, and then the following year after that he couldn't miss. So for the Super Bowl, but I get it. I understand it, but I also know how to evaluate quarterback talent. And I'm not talking about from a fan perspective. I'm talking about from a player perspective. And he can't get over the first hurdle. His ability, his availability. his availability is shaky because his inability to get out the pocket. Yeah, if you put a quarterback and he can throw and you give him 3.5 seconds, then yeah, he's going to look good. Any quarterback should be able to do that. But what happens when the plays break down? When we need you to make a play, when a player on the other team is forcing an issue, and then we playing good, we on a run, then he gets injured. You don't want that from your starting quarterback. So I agree with you. You put any quarterback in there, they're not going to look good. I agree with you. But AOC looked absolutely worse because that boy didn't even get out of training camp. And then when he did get out of training camp, he played and didn't even get a completion for 3 quarters. So how do y'all justify that? I don't know. But I think he's really cool. I really think AOC should stay here. I think he should just go on and be a Raider. The fans love him, obviously. Um, and then maybe, God forbid, if something was to happen, he'll get another chance to start, like he's been getting. But you say everything should look better next year. That's all we as Raiders should want because we have some terrible coaches and staff. Yeah. And we're not at that point no more. I don't think we're at that point no more where we have the staff like that. Y'all hear me say it all the time. You win championships from the top down, not to play around. So our head office is making real good choices. And now let's see what they're going to do when it comes to AOC because I thought they were going to trade him. I was sure of it because this is contract year and Spytech want to get some kind of value out of him. If Spytech was able to get value out of Smith, he should be able to get value out of AOC. AOC could probably play somewhere and be on the verge of starting if a player get injured or their production dips. Then he can start. He'll have his chance to start, just like he had here. But maybe it's just the Raiders. Maybe a new environment, maybe a new scheme, maybe a new offensive line, maybe all that would help him. And maybe he could be a starter in this league. I'm not saying that he can't, but I'm just saying where the reality of it right now is he's not. And that's all I'm gauging it off of, not how I feel about him personally. Bruce Willis says, I'm 43. I got about another good 20 years left. I want to win. Let's go, Raiders. Let's get a Raiders in the chat. Everybody, let's do Raiders. Let's get a Raiders because I'm always one nation. I'm always one nation. I'm critical of our team, but it's always one nation. And you don't see he's a Raider until he's not. I'm hoping he stays. But if you coming out in a presser saying some stuff that I ain't never heard you say before, like this is irregular. Like, oh my God, what made you say that? After we went and got a franchise quarterback and we went and got Kirk Cousins. But okay, all right. Is it writing on the wall? Is you trying to say you want to get up out of here? So I get it. I get it. I get it. That's right. Let's get the Raiders in the chat. Let's get the Raiders in the chat. Can y'all hit the like button too for your boy? And I'm not going to be talking about AOC for the rest of the week, y'all. I'm not going to talk about AOC for the rest of the week because I don't want an AOC bash, but I am going to go over all the quarterbacks and see what are their chances of being the starter week 1. And the next one we're going to do is Mendoza. I know a lot of people feel like that he should start because he's the number 1 pick. And but we did bring in a quarterback to make sure that he's ready when he gets in. And it's not something we're doing out of necessity. Because a lot of times when teams get a first round quarterback, a quarterback in the first round, that's because there's a dire need for it. A dire need for it. So much that you're going to throw them out there and let them learn on the fly. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. Okay, Bruce Willis. Okay, Brucey. All right. So I'm gonna do another show tonight. I gotta go get some clips and stuff like that. I'm gonna talk about a player that no one is talking about that's really gonna be a big piece of our team. I will let y'all know this. It's a player on defense. Let's see if anybody guesses. Who's the player that no one's talking about? I saw one person talk about him maybe about a month or two ago, but no one's really talking about this player, and he is going to be a big piece of our defense. A big piece of our defense. Let's see if anybody can guess it. See. No, but this is I do like him. Remember, I have said I like him. Mental reps. That's what I call him, mental reps. Because that boy went out there and he brought that word out, mental reps. Because I know when we were playing and you took mental reps, that's because it wasn't for a good reason. But shout out to him. He just signed his contract. I'm glad he signed his contract. Now let's get to it, Crawford. I like him. Let's see. Butler? No, but Butler need to get some get right. Him and Booker need to get some get right. But this player, I'm telling y'all, a lot of people are overlooking this guy, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I want one of y'all to get it. I do. I'm trying to see. I want one of y'all. I want one of y'all to get it, but not Butler. But those are good guesses, though. Yeah. But my man he did get his contract. Keyron got his contract signed. So I'm waiting for Pass to come because I think he's gonna be a force multiplier. I think while I think he's gonna be that player that we were expecting from Kuntz. You're getting close. Raider Law, what's up with you? You're getting close. You're getting hot. Oh, you talking about Johnson? Teron Johnson? Y'all getting warm. Y'all getting hella hot. Y'all getting hella hot. He said, I'm late, but Aiden do get the ball out quick. No, he does. He does get the ball out quick. I agree with you on that. You know what? When I was asking what's his superpower, or that's one of them that he can get the ball out quick, and that's why I know he's smart because he knows where to go with the ball. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is when you play quarterback, yeah, when the environment is nice and you can get the ball out, yeah, you're gonna shine. But that's not why they pay you the extra big bucks. They pay you the extra big bucks so you can do the Patrick Mahomes. I hate to say it, but when things ain't working right, then you can make a play still happen. You get hurt, you get injured, and it look like you're not going to come back, but you still can gut it out. Not you get pushed from behind, not even hit, but you get pushed from behind late. I get it, and then you get airlifted. You got to get the air cast and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you toughened it up, came back, fell on the other knee, and got hurt again. Like, so you get paid for what when the environment is not perfect. Like in a perfect world, AOC would be the perfect quarterback if he didn't have to move. I mean, he's not an old quarterback. At least the old quarterbacks that statues, they know how to move a little bit. They know how to matriculate the pocket, move up and down. AOC don't have that because once that pressure start coming, that boy, y'all don't remember that boy threw the ball out of bounds from the middle of the pocket in the middle of the field because the pressure was coming too far and they intentional grounding because he can't go nowhere. That's what my issue is. And I can't put my franchise on the back of a quarterback that can't move. Fourth round come corner, first round talent. McCoy. Nope. That's not who it is. I'm gonna tell y'all who it is. It's because y'all hung in here this long. Dalton Johnson. That's who y'all need to keep. Dalton Johnson. Between him and Stooks playing together, our free safety situation is gonna look nice. Because Dalton can play free safety. He can cover for Stooks when Stooks grabbed a nickel back. And I'm going to go over Dalton Johnson's superpowers, what make him good. When we got Stooks, a lot of the Raider Nation was upset. I done clipped a lot of content creators being mad about that pick, so that way later on in the season, when they get to talking about how great he was and they knew this and they knew that, I'm going to be like, oh, really? Because I saw during the draft, I seen a lot of people lip hit the flow. I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. That was smart. The first thing I instantly thought when we got Stooks was we need another safety. I wasn't saying go back and get a safety the next round, but we need another safety though, because Mau and Chin are box safeties. You don't want them covering that much. Mau can cover better than Chin, but that ain't what you necessarily want. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, so what was the last thing I said? Yeah, it was a good pickup, Dalton Johnson. Yeah, because he can play safety and he hits and he tackles. And the synergy that him and Stooks got, that's important. So then that way we have different variations because we don't have to always put Stooks up in at one high safety or the safety that's always back there. Because Mau, he can cover a little bit, but I wouldn't want to put him back there so much. But I would like to see him be versatile and be all over the field, just like Dalton Johnson. A lot of people sleeping on that kid. I like Dalton Johnson. Now McCoy, though, I think the only thing we worried about McCoy, well, the thing I'm worried about McCoy is the rust. He hasn't played in a year, so what does that year look like for his ball skills? Because as far as the injury, that's just a confidence thing, like not thinking you're going to get injured, and I'm hoping that he's over that. I'm hoping he's over that. So, what do you guys think about Dalton Johnson? Are you guys like still not really knowing enough about him? Because I will be talking about him tonight and what his skills bring to the table. So, I'm appreciated that if you guys have hit the subscribe button on that. So, if we don't have anything, it's all aboard. We're all off on the bark. There is ready to talk, but I'm just saying. What do you think? What are the percentages? I want to see some percentages before we get up out of here. What percentage do you think the AOC has starting game one? What are the percentage? Let's see. Let's see what y'all say. What's the percentage AOC is going to start game one? Man, I was I was asked what do I want, and I want a breast and a wing, but I put it in and it said breastfeeding and wing. I would hate to send that off. Let me see. Game one, 0%, 0%, 0%. Oof. Okay, so let me ask this. Let me ask this. What percent do you guys think that he's going to be QB2. That's a good question. QB. What percentage you think he'll be QB2? See what you said. I thought Gino was supposed to be a mobile and got sacked. Yeah, you know why? Were you watching the game? Were you watching the game, my God? He is mobile. Let me ask y'all this. And I got another question. Yeah, I definitely got another question. So you say QB2, 99% chance? That's high. 5% chance? Yeah, whatever. I can sound like a hater. A hater is just because I don't like somebody. I'm coming with reasons, but it can sound like how you want it to sound to you in your head. That's fine. I understand that. So he said he's gonna be 3, and I'm an AOC fan. Aiden should start it for AP. That's arguable. I could I think the percentage of him being QB2 is probably about like 60%. Not because he's the second best quarterback, it's because of his position. Hold on, y'all. So who's more mobile? Who's more mobile? AOC or Geno Smith? Help me with that. Who's more mobile? Who's more mobile? Geno Smith or AOC? I'm waiting to hear the answer. Okay, Featherstone brisket sub. Oh, that sounds good. No way Cousins survives all 17 games. Somebody else will see the field at some point during the season. Well, I can see him starting 15 or 17 games, though. I can see that. I definitely can see that. And if he can't, what makes you think that if he can't, what makes y'all think that putting in Mendoza is no, really the way he doesn't he gets hurt is because the O line, and things are predicated on the O line. So I agree that the O line is important, but if the O line is tripping and a veteran gets hurt, what makes y'all think that Kirk Cousins is? I would put in AOC before Mendoza at that point. Let's say if it's like week 4 I'm for sure putting in AOC now because hopefully he can get us to week 7 or week 8. And then we can put in Mendoza and then just try to get a backup quarterback next year. I'm sure we'll probably get AOC again, but be that as it may. Oh my goodness. We talking about one game, y'all? One game? I've also seen him play the Chiefs and we won and he passed for 60 yards and like 129 yards. So you can have a good game, but that doesn't make you a starter. He scored like 60 points on the Kansas City. He not a chief killer. Yeah, I feel you. I kind of feel like I'm hating because I keep saying his name, but I know I ain't hating on him. So the only way Kirk Cousins get hurt is not. I'm not saying that's the only way, man. He can have a non-contact injury. Anybody can get hurt any kind of way, bro. Like y'all know what I'm talking about for the most part. Like, come on. He can twist his ankle, he can get his ankle rolled up, or anything can happen. But I'm talking about like an injury where he's getting knocked out. It's because the O line probably not on level yet. What other way does quarterbacks get hurt? Because they can't get out of the. What makes y'all think AOC got the ability to get out if Kirk Cousins can't? If Kirk Cousins can't avoid injury, what makes y'all think AOC can avoid injuries? Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. Week 4, yeah, that would be AOC. Towards the end of the season, you're probably talking about Mendoza. And I would put Mendoza in if Charm City was good. I will put Mendoza in if it's the end of the season. Because also the game itself is different. Because some teams are tanking, which is fine. So then it's almost like a preseason game almost. So I'm with that. If it's later in the season, I'm with that. But if it's early in the season, AOC got to play. Does it if you have good games on bad teams? Yeah, no, no. Do I need to play? Do I need to play? Hold on, do I need to play this for you since you must not have been here? AOC said this himself, y'all. This is what AOC said himself.
Aidan, you haven't even played your 4th season, and I think this is your 5th, 6th, maybe if you look at interims, whatever, offensive coordinator. So you've had everything thrown at you, but still have a great attitude. Will you talk about that balancing and controlling what you can control and just dealing with what you can't?
Yeah, I joke I had one play caller and one head coach my entire 6 years at Purdue, and so I think, by the law of averages, I think something like this was coming my way. Obviously didn't expect it to be like this, but I've learned no wasted years in the NFL. Even when you're losing, even when things are hard, you can still learn a lot. And I've learned a lot even last year. I only played in our last game, for 3 quarters, but learned a bunch just sitting kind of on the sideline and watching. And again, being able to interact with a lot of coordinators, I think has been good for me to really learn what I like, to learn what, I think is, the best way to play quarterback, the best way to play football. And so it really is, you can, complain about it. I really realize, like, people really don't care about that very much. Like, people talk about it a little bit, having a lot of coordinators or coaches, but, like, if I go out there and throw interceptions, like, no one's really feeling bad for me. You got to produce in the NFL. And so, besides my wife and my parents, no one's really going to feel bad for me. So try to go out there and compete no matter who's calling plays or who's out there.
You talk about
No, 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 no. Not just your wife and your kids. I mean, your wife and your parents. Raider Rebel cares. Raider Rebel cares. Yeah, Raider Rebel cares because he's saying like, what if he played good on bad teams? What if he wins more games than Derek Carr there? Like that'll be fine if all we played was the Chiefs. And bro, the 2 wins that they have is not because AOC was the reason. 60 yards one game, 129 yards another. AOC is not the reason, bro. It's because we ran the ball. But fine, you want to make him better than Derek Carr because he beat Kansas City. He was a starting quarterback 2 times. Like, come on, man. Anybody in their right mind would not pick AOC over Derek Carr. Like, come on. This is why I have to keep doing these shows. Because it's just you that's saying this stuff. So I'm not even really coming at you per se, because you're strong enough to back up your argument. That's why every time you come on, you hold your own. But there's a lot of people out there just saying this stuff because they probably listen to people that think like them. That's all. So let me see. 38 years old, plenty can go wrong, especially with that Achilles issue. What's the issue? Where's the issue? Didn't he play last year? Didn't he win more games than the Raiders last year on a bad team? And he only played half the season at that. And this is going to be his second year removed from that surgery, so it's not an issue. Was it an issue when there's a lot of quarterbacks that's 38 that's proven that still can play at a high level? I think Tom Brady played into his 40s and won Super Bowls. How about Peyton Manning? How about your boy in LA, Stafford? How old is he? Y'all, what? Something. And he came in, and I remember last year everybody was talking about, oh, he might not even start because his back. And I was like, yeah, right. I was like, yeah, right. Like when you're an older quarterback, it's not that easy to knock you off your square, man, because you've seen everything. The only really way, not the only, well, the majority of the times is um, because you get hit by a lineman, or because he doesn't get blocked, or he beat the block, or you scramble out and you get hit and get hurt. Like, but that's the inherent risk of the game. That can happen to any quarterback. Being 38 is an advantage, man. It's hard to beat older quarterbacks. But hey, Gino was more mobile. Thank you. Some Mendoza's so great, we can't put them in until the team is ready. But Aidan O'Connell sucks so bad, and he plays with horrible teams. Okay. Oh my God. Here we go. Devontae was an AOC backer. Now shut up. You must be real, bro. Tell me that you didn't grow up with your dad without telling me, because you are very emotional about everything. Like, bro, we just having a conversation. So stop talking to me like I'm your kid or something. We're just having a conversation. I'm not telling you to shut up. I'm not being like a content creator that be rude and calling you out of your name. I'm attacking your argument, not the person. So I'm gonna ask nicely that you don't come with that kind of energy, bro. You can be hella passionate because there's no more passionate person than me. If you want to see macho, I'm macho. I'm all that. Machismo. See, all that. Passionate, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not the only one. You could be equally, if not more. But bro, let's attack the argument, not the person. So don't tell me to shut up again, because I will go bad on you. Starting to think, what they say, you starting to think who? Oh, Reb is AOC agent? He might be. No, I think he talking to me, Reb. I think he talking to me. Kubiak ain't stupid. He knows the value of a solid backup quarterback, and he's going to cover all his bases. Great points. Great point. And I think that's why he's posturing AOC the way he is. And it's brilliant, because either you're posturing him to be successful as the backup and still give him confidence that in the event that you do come in, we're going to rock with you. or he's doing the trade value thing, which I kind of think is kind of more far fetched than than the former. So I think it's more that he wants to give his quarterback confidence because Kubiak is really, really good at getting the most out of the least. So do I think AOC could be better in this offense? Absolutely. Do I think he could last longer on the field with this kind of offense and this coaching staff? Absolutely. So I like Kubiak for that. So it might be onto something right there. What my man say, y'all could love it or hate it. I stand on my business. I believe AOC is a damn good quarterback. And nobody's gonna convince me different until he proves me wrong. Ain't nobody trying to convince you. You can't look. It's kind of like a dude could be like, bro, your girl's a hoe. But that's your hoe, so you love your hoe. And it won't hurt until she does whole things on you. And then you're gonna be like hurt. And then we're gonna be like, but bro, it was a hoe. We saw it was a hoe. We tried to tell you that she was a hoe, but you was in love with that hoe. You tried to make that hoe your housewife. You trying to make AOC the twang. And AOC just not that. He's not no good quarterback, bro. Not if you keep getting hurt. You can't be a good quarterback if you keep getting hurt. You can't be. I don't care how bad the team is. AOC just said it himself. Don't nobody care about that. Don't nobody care about that. Oh, I think he said, yep, he was talking to you. Oh, I thought he was talking to me. But even with that, though, don't even talk to Rebel like that, bro. Because I don't want nobody telling you to shut up and all that. I wouldn't let nobody tell you to shut up and all that. Because if y'all ain't gonna really throw hands, then all that extra talk ain't gonna do no good. I ain't trying to have y'all throw hands over a conversation, especially about a third string quarterback. Like that's even worse. That's why I said we got to have the best quarterback room in the NFL because we got motion in all three phases, which is a good thing to have. And like you said, Kubiak is probably understanding that. And Rebel, I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't think AOC is like the bottom of the barrel. I just think that he's not a starter. That's all. They said, nope, just don't like when people disrespecting my quarterback with their false beliefs. Like he's a statue. He is a statue, bro. Everybody knows that. Can't move the pocket. We know he can't move, can't matriculate the pocket. What do you mean? I never said he holds the ball too long. I never said that. And he is injury prone. Have you been in the league for 3 years and you've been hurt 2 of them? And when you was coming into the league, you was hurt. That's injury prone, bro. Sorry. That's injury prone. You even said it yourself that that's injury prone. So don't start acting like that now. Just say you like him a lot. You can like him a lot, that's cool, but that don't make him what he is in your mind to us or to me. I know how to evaluate quarterback talent. Now, I don't know if you do or not or what metrics you use to do it, but I know how to evaluate quarterback talent. Just like I wanted to tell y'all about Mendoza's delivery. Like it's stuff that I can even talk about from a quarterback. I don't even talk to y'all like I'm some quarterback like that. When I can tell y'all a lot of stuff about being a quarterback. I can tell y'all a lot of stuff about playing a few positions in the league or on the field. Because I ain't never been to the league, but I'm just saying I was a first team all conference. So I'm just saying, even when I want to say Mendoza need to y'all was comparing a lot of people was comparing his passing to Brady. They even make the video side by side and all that. And I'm like, they don't even have this. The mechanics are different. Like Mendoza need to work on a few things in his mechanics because some of his passes I see are heavy, but that's cool. That's whatever. It's true. Because for some reason he has enough strength to get the ball there, even though the ball appears to be heavy. So, and I think through time, it won't look like that. Just like Tom Brady, as a quarterback, your mechanics get better and better and better. And y'all don't understand, footwork is like the main thing. That's why when people kept talking about, well, with him behind center, and it's not a big deal, he's a Heisman Trophy. Y'all don't even understand how important the footwork is. The footwork is more important than throwing the ball. Making your platform right, you can damn near throw the ball almost any kind of way if your platform right. That's the hard part. Your footwork is the hard part. And that takes time. Even seasoned quarterbacks need to work on their footwork. Why do you think they always do that drill when they go up and down the cones as quarterbacks and then side to side over the bags? Like the footwork matters. But if had I said Mendoza, y'all, when everybody was talking about look at these passes to spirals, if I would have came out and been like, oh, he need to work on his delivery, then y'all would have been like, oh, he's a better quarterback than you. You ain't never won nothing. That's what y'all would have said. But see, Mendoza said it the other day. He said it himself the other day that he need to work on that. So I know that he know, and I know that I know, but y'all don't know that I know. Because y'all think that y'all know. Don't make me be that guy. Because I'm not that guy. Is that what I not want what from my quarterback? I want him to not be able to I want him not being hurt every year since your rookie year. And you miss more games as your career go on. Well, what's next? You out for the whole season? You came back for one game and still didn't do nothing then. Remember, Clint's dad was a career backup. Facts. That's gonna be permanently in his mind. Remember, Clint's daddy was a career backup. That's got to be permanently in his mind. And I don't even have an issue about being a career backup. It's hard to be a quarterback in the league, period. It's hard to be a quarterback in college, especially like a good team or a SEC team or something like that. That's why I don't understand why people think it's even Shador. Shador played at a high level. You think that AOC is better than Shador? How many people in the chat think AOC is better than Shador? Let's be honest. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Shador is better. Put a 2 in the chat if you think AOC is better. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Shador is better. Put a 2 in the chat if you think AOC is better. Maybe I'm tripping. But I'm pretty sure AOC is not as good as Shador. So here we go. Now you want to add. Now you want to add stuff to what I'm saying. So now you're saying Joe Burrow not a good quarterback. That's crazy talk. I never said that. When did I say anything about Joe Burrow, bro? When did I mention Joe Burrow? Now, what I will say about Joe Burrow is he probably should have sat that first year, or he wouldn't have got his ACL, his MCL, his LCL, his whatever CL, and his meniscus blew the fuck out. But if there was any quarterback that was ready from day one, he's one of them. AOC is not freaking. He's not freaking Joe Burrow. Mendoza is not even Joe Burrow. So where did you even get Joe Burrow from? No, no. Good try though, Derek. Good try. You see, I see no mods here. That means I handle my own business. He said, "What people love affair with AOC, I don't get. He played in 21 games and Raiders had Minshew over him. But Minshew was a better quarterback. Minshew was a decent quarterback. I act like our offensive coordinator that these two guys had was good. They weren't. Chip Kelly wasn't good. Well, Chip Kelly, good offensive coordinator. He just was sabotaging. And I guess y'all keep forgetting that. Y'all don't want to admit that. Like it literally came out that he was sabotaging the team, calling plays and formations that they wasn't working on in the game. I mean, in practice, doing it all in the game. Because he wanted to get Pete Carroll fired and Brendan fired so he could get the job and then he can get his own regime in there. Because remember, everybody thought he was going to be the incumbent coach after Pete Carroll left. Like y'all revisionist history is crazy. That's why I have to watch all the way I do. Because even this year, the way y'all was talking about Mendoza, any other year he wouldn't even be a number one. Any other year he's not even as good as the quarterbacks in last year's draft and all the stuff that y'all was saying. But now all of a sudden he's good enough to play week one. Y'all something else, man. Y'all something else. I don't understand what you're saying right there. We have a solid vet. We have a solid vet. One of the best backups available and the most celebrated young talent for a long time. Can we just accept that and be happy with it? Nope, they can't. They can't because they tripping off that Kubiak said it's a competition and the best player will win. Not understanding what the dynamic is already. He's saying that for a reason, but I'm sorry, not we all don't know. Some people know that there's levels. Kirk Cousin level, Mendoza level, AOC level. AOC ain't never done what Mendoza has done in college. And you can say Mendoza haven't done nothing in the NFL, and that'd be a good argument. So they'll be going back and forth. Those two are arguable. But what isn't arguable is neither one of those have done what Kirk Cousins has. Neither one of them have done what Kirk Cousins. So obviously Kirk Cousins is the better of the three. The only thing that's going to stop him is an injury. It's his job to lose, not to gain. But he has to say it like that because that's the politics. What y'all want him to say? Well, they're not all the same, and AOC really got to do a whole lot for him to start. They're not going to say that. He might not even tell AOC that. He might tell AOC, you got a chance just like anybody else, just so he can get the best out of him. I don't know how many of y'all actually went through a training camp and had to earn a position. Has any of you guys done that? And plus, I didn't see none of the ones or twos in the chat. Oh, there you go, the two in the chat. What was it? One was for who, and two was for Minshew. I mean, for AOC. I forgot already. What was I say? I guess I'll see when I get there. Whatever. You can say whatever you want to say, but I guess y'all don't even remember how AOC played in the preseason. They just be saying stuff, bro. AOC turned the ball over more than Minshew, and then Minshew has more experience. And he's played seasons where he's played the whole season where he didn't get hurt or missed more than 1 or 2 games. AOC have done none of the above. You would rather have AOC? Okay. Okay. What? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I ain't about to. I'm not about to. I'm not even about to. They were paying Minshew that money so that he was going to play him if AOC was that guy. they wouldn't need it. They wouldn't need Minshew and paid him that money. It would have been AOC. And that's what I was asking earlier. They would have did the same thing when it came to Geno Smith. They would have did the same thing with Kirk Cousins. Instead of paying all these quarterbacks that's supposed to be not as good as AOC, but they sure was bringing him in while he was on the roster. AOC would never make $10 million a year or $20 million. What are we talking about? These quarterbacks are proven. AOC haven't proven nothing. What has he proven? That he can play one season worth of games in 3 years? Oh, I forgot. It's because insert whatever excuse here. Matter of fact, I haven't played this because actually this is for the excuses. Where my excuse button at? Where my man's at?
Anchovies is coming! Board on the starboard! The anchovies are coming! The excuse makers are coming! Bar down on the bridges! All you motherfuckers come out the motherfucking closet making all these goddamn excuses. Try to take y'all assholes somewhere, boy. I ain't trying to hear that shit.
I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear it. I don't know why they don't understand this, bro. Coaches always say that even when it's not true. The old is that what it is? The old fans know that? If you older, you understand that? I've played in this situation like that. So I understand that what coaches, I know what coach speak sounds like. Just like I know my girl tell me I'm handsome and I'm not looking handsome. To her. She might think I'm handsome enough, but not my most handsome, but she might call me that. I know what that means. I better go get a haircut. I better go get a shape up. I better let my beard. I need to go work out. I want like because you really because you live based in reality. Okay. So what system does AOC work good in? What system does AOC work good in? Don't say one that requires the quarterback to be mobile. Because he ain't mobile. So stop saying that. Because I'll go get however many games will show you how mobile he's not. So what kind of system does he work well in? Because if he can't, and this is the best system that he could probably work well in, and he's not even going to start in this one. 0% chance. But you wouldn't say 0% chance. You think it's a high percent chance that he could start. He ain't starting. I hope Mendoza is a real deal, but he might just be like Geno in his last year, spooked. Yeah, well, that's if we had the same type of O-line, but we're not. We don't. Oh yeah, there we go, Frank. He says like when you thank your mother-in-law for paying you a surprise visit, yeah, and then she wanted to spend the night, a few of them, and the wife didn't tell you because she knew how you felt about it. Make it sound look like that you just popped up, mom. 50% chance that 50% chance that Aidan O'Connell start in the preseason. I mean, this game one. 50% chance. So that looked like you giving that 2 ice cubes. 2 ice cubes. I'm telling you, you need to put 4 ice cubes in that thing because there's no way in chance. There's no chance at all that he gonna start game one unless Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza run into each other. Look at it. Look. It froze up right there because it's like, let me. You don't say it because you say it. You don't say it because you mean it. You say it because it sounds nice. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'll be back later, guys. We are going to talk about Dalton Johnson. You know what? One love to the nation because I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA.
I'm a raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.